for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
All right, good evening. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Wednesday night, man, we got here. We got here somehow. It's Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. Today's Wednesday, April 18th, 2018. 108 days into the new year, just 257 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California, and I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? I'm in a great mood. Tonight, Jason Quitt is back. We're going to talk about the codes to creation, to I want to believe. Yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. It's one of my favorite guests that we frequently have on the show. Love Jason. Tomorrow night's another Fader Night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live, followed by Open Lines all night long. Tonight it's Jason Quitt. And follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow us for a little while longer on Facebook, YouTube. Everything is Fade to Black, JChurch Radio. Just go right now, follow, like, and subscribe over on the website. The Sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter. We don't bite, so come over and hang out. You got 240 characters that you can mess with now. Is it 240 or 280? They double it? I can't even remember. It's a lot. So you can come and hang out, hashtag F2B. We have the chat rooms open, of course, over in Spreaker. Hello, everybody. I'll just do this right now. I'll say, hello, everybody. See? So they know I'm doing this in real time. There you go. All right. And the KGRA chat room is open, too, as well. Now, you know, with all of this nastiness that is, you know, seems to just go, it's everywhere today. It's everywhere. The nasty, I just don't get it. You know, and if, even if you're in a group or on one side of the fence, your job is to, you know, throw stuff over the fence, right? And it's like crazy. Nobody wants to just enjoy life. Life is short. Life is so short. And I've talked about the numbers with that so many times. Most people don't realize. And if you take, I'll do this in real time for you. I'm busting out my cell phone here. Let me go to calculator, and I'll click on calculator, and I'm going to go 365 days times 70 years. So if you live to the ripe age of 70, you spend 25,550 days on this planet without leap year. 25,550. Now, what if you're 60 years old today? What if you're 60? Then do the math. You know, do 10 years. Let's say you make it to 70, which would be great, right? We all want to do that. That's 3,650 days left. Why would you want to spend any of those days in a negative frame of mind? You're not going to change anything. Nothing's going to, and you get down to day 0. You got 1 day left, and somebody comes up to you and says, hey, what, you want some time back? What would you exchange? A memory in your life. What would you exchange that for this? And you're going to go, man, I was such a dick so many times that I just regret all of that. I was talking bad about people, or I was surfing the net. I was posting in social media, and I just wasted days that I could have back, weeks that I could have back, that I could have spent having fun. And it was a waste. Think about that. Life is short. So with that, in celebration of all the nastiness that is going on out there, and I do mean this, I posted a picture. I posted a picture in Twitter of me at the age of 15 with my Gibson The Paul, right? An all mahogany guitar that they made. It was cheap. It was their cheap thing, but it sounded good, Anyway, with my Q95 T-shirt, 15 years old, my mom took this picture down in our family room in Indianapolis. And if that picture doesn't make you laugh and laugh at me like I'm laughing at myself, if that doesn't distract you, because nobody who has ever taken a picture like this 40 years ago should ever post this online. But I did, just to make you laugh. And you know what? Say what you want, pose. I don't care. Don't say anything at all. But hopefully you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, holy crap. Holy crap. And just to distract you from the day. So that's why I did, because I'm out there goofing around, and I don't post much on Facebook anymore. We're phasing that out. But I'm just looking, because people send me some, hey, man, did you hear this? Did you hear this? And I just don't want to get distracted with negativity. But I see these things that people send to me in emails and snapshots, and they take screenshots on their cell phone, man. And I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked. Why would you waste your time on being negative for any reason? It doesn't matter. You could be talking about milk. Why would you be negative? And especially wasting time being negative at and towards other people. It's just, life is too short. All right. Speaking of that, I got really great news today, and we're going to be sending out, I think, a notification tomorrow to everybody, and it will start to kick out over this weekend. We're going to start the alpha testing of On Stellar next week. I already know the day, but it's going to be next week. Holy crap, right? It's happening. It's happening. I told you that last Friday we took the tour, and it's ready to go. I mean, there's bugs and stuff, but it's ready. So that's it. You want to check out OnStellar, you want to go and get in on the alpha testing, go to onstellar.com, ONSTELLAR.com. I'm going to tweet it out right now. onstellar.com. Now you don't have an excuse right there. And use promo code Jimmy. That's all I'm going to say. Use code Jimmy. I'm doing this in real time, so please excuse me. It's very important. Why? Let me tell you something. In this world today, with some very messed up situations, and I'm going to talk about one of them in a minute, the social media landscape needs something new. It needs a clean slate. We need a start over, right? We need a do-over. OnStellar.com. It is the new social media site. I promise you, everything that you've ever wanted out of a social media site is going to be given to you here. This is going to blaze trails. This is going to open up eyes all around the world. You can be part of it. OnStellar.com. I've just given you the link. Use the promo code Jimmy. Alpha testing is happening next week. You're going to go in and you are going to check this out. You're going to set up your profile page. You're going to get going. You're going to go back, and you are going to say to me next week, you're going to say to your friends, I cannot believe what I just saw. I cannot believe what I'm participating in. This is the new social media. This is the future of everything. It is that incredible. Okay, OnStellar.com. I'm giving you the heads up. I've been giving you the heads up. This is not a joke. This is going to take over. And just go. OnStellar.com. Alpha testing next week. We're going to send out notices tomorrow. Get ready. I'm telling you. OnStellar.com. And this is the thing. I'm telling you right now, and you can quote me. You can quote me forever. You will be on Stellar. You will be on Stellar. You're going to do it anyway. You have to because everybody else is. So that's it. So go and pre-register. Get it done. Get your screen name ready. I'm telling you, you are going to be there. Facebook is passé. All right? On Stellar. OnStellar.com. .com. All right. Tonight, Jason Quitt is here. Codes to Creation to I Want to Believe. That I Want to Believe poster on Mulder's wall is Billy Meyer's photo. I thought I heard you say it was all a hoax. Oh, well, love your show, but I have to listen to the late version. Take care. Now, this is from GVS. This is in Twitter. It's from 19 hours ago. I just now saw it. You know what's interesting about that? That's exactly you want to believe. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that poster having a Billy Myers hoaxed photo in there. Nothing wrong with that. He faked a good photo. Dude had one arm and pulled off all of that. I got to give Billy credit where there's when you have one arm and you're able to build models, maybe his wife helped him, I don't know, and tie things up with shoestrings or fishing string, and you're able to get the depth of field and get it just right and get your camera right. That's pretty good. That's talent. Got to give Billy credit. Wrote books, bought a house off of that stuff. And any questions or comments, use hashtag F2BQ. That's where that was. Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com is the email. Breaking news. NASA finally launched their Falcon 9 rocket today with the TESS telescope. I watched it live. Did you? It was cool. They're expecting to discover over 2,000 exoplanets in 2 years. It was cool. That was a cool launch. That was all right. When they were switching the camera angles, once it was up, the booster was up in orbit, they were changing the camera angles, and you had the alternative view of the horizons of the Earth, that perfectly round globe in the background. It was just beautiful. That was good stuff today. So there you go. Tess is up there, and I'm excited. I want to know. They are, and it's in a weird orbit too. It's going to go around the moon and the Earth, right? Which is crazy. So that's its orbit. They're saying that it's going to be 10 times closer and 10 times the resolution as Kepler. That's extraordinary. Kepler has got about a month left, by the way, before it just shuts down. It's going to run out of gas. Cop gas. All right. Where am I at? Don't forget, June 1st through the 4th, Jason Quitt's going to be there. It's coming up. Today is April 18th. I can't even believe it. So we're right here. June 1st through the 4th, Contact in the Desert, Indian Wells, Palm Springs at the Renaissance Resort and Spa. Tickets and information, just click on the banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. And then right after that, in August 9th through the 12th, you can sign up for our Soul Tech Gathering up at ECETI Ranch. Jason Quitt's going to be there too as well. I just thought about that. He's doing Contact and the Soul Tech Gathering. Wow. SoulTechGathering.com. All right, go and get your tickets. We're only selling 300, and so that's it. It's going to sell out here very, very soon. Subscribe to our podcast. We have over 840 archive shows, custom apps, Apple, Android, just $2 a month. Click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. You can also become a Fade or Not over in our membership section of the site. If you've renewed your membership, have you gotten your new Fade to Black t-shirt? Oh, I forgot to make it. Can't even believe it. All right. I want to see pictures of everybody in the new Fade to Black shirts. They're shipping. They're very, very cool. And there you go. All right. So you can become an official Fade or Not right now. And if you get to the Game Changer, you get those autographed hats and autographed shirts. I sent out, I didn't, not exactly personally, but I autographed today 25, maybe 30 T-shirts for everybody today that we shipped. And I was just one of those moods. I was like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to sign all of these. So when you get your shirts, just T-shirt orders, I signed them today. Yeah. Karen just said new shirts. Let's see. I know I forgot them. I'll do it tomorrow. They're up top, and I can't go get them. I brought them with me. I just left them in the car. So, all right. Don't forget all of our sponsors: Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, Ancient Life Oil, Sacred Skulls, New Mana Food Storage, and Bearing Optics. And all of the banners, all of the promo codes that you need are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today. Rick Moranis is 65. Now, his movies that moved me, that, I mean, just to this day, are some of the best ever. Club Paradise, that's one of the great movies of all time. Spaceballs, one of the greats. Everything on SCTV. Bob McKenzie, the movie Strange Brew. If you've never seen that, you need to go check that out. My Blue Heaven and Head Office. Club Paradise, Spaceballs, Strange Brew, My Blue Heaven, Head Office. At one point, I had all of the videotapes. I had all of the DVDs. I still do. And then virtually all but retired in 1997. He hasn't done anything. He doesn't want to act anymore. Now, he'll do voiceover work. He'll do cartoons for kids. But as far as Hollywood, he's done. He's done. Rick Moranis today. You notice I didn't mention Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was okay. It had its moments. But for me, it pales in comparison to his performance in Spaceballs, My Blue Heaven, Head Office. Head Office, he's incredible. James Woods today is 71. And got to mention Cat's Eye, of course, Casino. But he was really good in the last season of Dice. I think that's on HBO or Showtime. But probably today he's more known for his Twitter feed. And don't ask me how that happened. James Woods today is 71. On this day in history, 1906, 5:13 a.m., an earthquake estimated close to 8.0 on the Richter scale strikes San Francisco, California. Fader fact: Thomas Edison invented the tattoo pen. Yeah, and that is your Fader fact. Tonight, Jason Quitt is here, and we're going to talk about the codes to creation all the way to I Want to Believe. Tomorrow night's another Fader night with John Rappaport, and there's no more Fake Newsroom Live, followed by Open Lines all night long. Now, the internet, I was talking about on Stellar earlier. The internet today, I don't think it's quite what we expected. There were a lot of things that we hoped and dreamed for and wanted and had expectations for the internet going back to 1994, 95, 96, AOL, and, Netscape, right? Mosaic. Remember that? Trying to find a browser. That was a big deal. These were all big deals. And it was. I think the internet back then was. I think the goal was just to make it, like a worldwide library and to share information and science and art and figure out a way to get things done. And music was a weird thing. Just downloading photographs, that was hard, and waiting for web pages to load. And what it's turned into today is not only a huge communication tool, virtually replacing television and radio for news and for communication to the masses. It's all it's all cell phones now, right? It's all the internet. Internet is just it's where it's at. And texting and messaging never went away. There is still that need, right? Texting and messaging. It's there. I don't think that'll ever go away. And so with that, and going back to AOL, when you had that little AOL Messenger pop up in your buddies list, and you go and in these chat rooms, that kind of communication is there, and it'll never go away. It's one of the revelations of the internet. Messaging, texting, messaging. It's incredible. It's a tool that I use here in the studio. We use Yahoo Messenger, by the way. That's what we use. And last night, Telegram got blocked in Russia. Yeah. And it got blocked on Monday. And it got blocked in Russia. Then it got blocked in Iran. I think it was sort of already blocked there. It's, Pakistan, China, many countries around the world either totally block or partially block Telegram. And then last night, it went down worldwide. Got back up earlier today. The outage affecting Telegram Messenger may be over, even though the reason behind the service going offline for about an hour last night is still unknown. Users of the service around the world from Italy, United Kingdom, China, Kazakhstan, Austria, Brazil, Netherlands, among others, posted messages on social media. I started to see this happen, saying that Telegram was back up and working again. When Telegram went offline without warning Tuesday night, it left users around the world without a solution to fix it. The outage affected not only the Secure Messenger's app, but also its website, which returned a 501 internal server error. Now, according to Down Detector, the outage was first reported at 10:38 p.m. Eastern Time. Based on comments on social media, the problem affected users in countries across the world, including the United States, United Kingdom, Portugal, India, Netherlands, China, Ukraine, Finland, Canada, Iran, Turkey, Libya, Kenya, Nigeria, Ecuador, Saudi Arabia, Australia, many others. Some users also tried to use a VPN, a virtual private network, trying to skate around the potential government blockages that were going on. But that didn't work either. Telegram, developed by Pavel Durov, was banned in his native Russia on Monday morning when authorities asked mobile service providers to block access to the messaging service. It came at the end of a long, long battle between Russian authorities and Durov, with him wanting access, with Russia wanting access to Telegram's users' data. And he said no. He posted a message on Tuesday evening about the ban in Russia. And Durov, who in the past provided updates about localized outages of Telegram, had not issued any comment on the latest outage at the time of the start of the show tonight. And I find that very interesting. And I find this worldwide outage suspect. And I get it when you want to bump heads, but look, and I'm talking with a state. We're talking about with a state, with China and with Russia and Iran, Pakistan. So when you're going to butt heads like that, and it's over data, and they want access. This is a secured messaging app. Some say it's not even that secure, by the way. But nonetheless, it takes a while to get to the data if you are. Telegram does save all of their messaging on their servers. It's encrypted. But you could potentially get the data off of those servers because all of the messaging is saved and archived, and decrypt it and get to it. It's a lot of work. But Russia wanted that. And Durov said no. And so they decided to block the website and then turn around in the app. It's like a warning shot across the bow, right? Suddenly, the website shut down. The app is locked out around the world, and I'm not cool with that. And it comes down to, again, your personal data. And Russia was denied that. And with that, one of the things that we have figured out about the net is we need a messaging app. We need to be able to do that. It's one of those things that we depend on today. We figured out that much of the. Yeah, we like cat videos on YouTube. Of course. We need that too. But one of the things that, out of the evolution of the internet, the earliest things that we did on the net, which was messaging, is one of the things that we need today. And if you go and block it, that is really, really, really a step over the line. The encryption side of it for criminals or people with bad behavior, or drug dealers, whatever, hitmen, and they're texting and messaging encrypted stuff, I get that. But that's not the other 99.9% of the people that use Telegram. And so you can't really use that for an excuse. And if you're honing in on some bad actor out there, then go after it. But bringing down a messaging app that people use in emergencies, anything else, kids try to get a hold of their parents, and you want to shut down a messaging app, it just doesn't sit right with me. So just think about that for a second. We really, really need to be careful here how we move forward. And at this point, on Stellar coming along at this time and place in the universe, it couldn't be any better. So think about that. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, the one and only Jason Quitt. We're going to discuss the codes to creation to I Want to Believe. And I'll be right back with our guest, Jason Quitt. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt. It's all up there on Twitter right now. Email is Jimmy at JimmyChurchRadio.com on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights. just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Natural Health Solutions with Chris and Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Great, Chris.
Now, you're the CEO of GetTheTea.com, right?
Yes, I am.
What is GetTheTea.com? I mean, is this tea you buy in a store?
Well, no, it's not. Life Change Tea is just that. Life-changing. Life Change Tea is an herbal tea that gently cleanses your body from intruders.
What do you mean by intruders?
Well, intruders are toxins, chemicals, GMOs, heavy metals, and more. They're in our food, in our water, in our air we breathe.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
And Life Change Tea will help you with removing these, as you say, intruders?
That's right, Chris.
Are there side effects with this tea?
Well, you might lose a little weight. When you clean your colon, you lose weight, you feel better, and you have more energy.
Wow. Ronnie, where can people purchase Life Change Tea?
Oh, that's easy. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
Ronnie, I want to thank you for being on the show. People, don't forget, GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter right now at JChurchRadio. It's so funny. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt. But pretty soon, right now, the only place to find me is on Twitter. I just stopped posting on Facebook. I'm I'm disgusted. So yeah, definitely follow me on Twitter. I stay right there. Jason Quitt, graduate of the Institute of Energy Wellness and a student of the Algonquin Shamanism, has been training and working with many teachers, shamans, and traditional healers from around the world. He is also the author of Forbidden Knowledge, Revelations of a Multidimensional Time Traveler, one of my favorite books, The Egyptian Postures of Power, Ancient Gong System, and the Yosef Codes, Sacred Geometry Mandalas. Tonight we're going to talk about the codes of creation, the grid, and how the wisdom has been with us for a very long time and passed down generation to generation through symbols, myths, and teachings. And then I want to believe. Now, he's going to be at Contact in the Desert coming up June 1st through the 4th, and then up at our Soul Tech gathering at ECETI Ranch. One of our favorite guests, member of the family, and a fade or not, Jason Quitt. Jason, good evening. How are you, man?
I'm a little under the weather, so I apologize if I cough on air, but I'll try not to. But right now I'm actually in beautiful Florida on a vacation, and I'm enjoying life. I'm celebrating life.
So what are you doing on Fade to Black? Go walk the beach. Go walk the beach. We can wrap the show right now. So what are the codes of creation? Okay, we got that. You want to believe. What part of Florida are you in?
I'm actually in Miami.
Oh, dude. What are you doing on this show? Go down to the Strip right there, right in front, walk past the Colony, turn left into a bar, and go get yourself a Mai Tai, one of those glow-in-the-dark drinks. You know, see, this is the thing about Miami that you're laughing because you know you want to. Is this. Miami doesn't start until midnight. Most people don't know that. Miami rocks from like midnight till 4 a.m. Are you down?
I'm down. I'm going to go.
Yeah. I remember one night I'm in Miami. I get there and a friend of mine who lives in Miami, and I'm in my hotel room. We're going to dinner, right? Because I got the perfect restaurant picked out, you know. So I get back to my hotel and I jump in the shower and I'm getting out. It's 7:00. And I'm thinking reservations are, 7:30, 8. It might have even been a little bit before that, like 6. So I'm dressed and ready to go. And I call up Matt. And he picks up the phone. He's like, hello. And I go, dude, dinner. What, have you forgot? He goes, no, man, I'm taking a nap. I said, well, okay, what time's dinner? I got reservations for midnight. I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, the restaurant doesn't open until 11. Right? It was like, what are you talking about? And we spent 5 days, 5 nights on the Strip that week down there in Miami, and I learned my lesson. Miami, midnight to 4 a.m. That is the bewitching hour. So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
much
it's
fun.
like my second home, so I'm very used to it.
Yeah, you are. See, am I stretching the truth here?
No. It's a great place to be if you're young at heart, or if you just want to party.
Man, I love it, man. I love Miami so much. So let's kind of start here tonight, Jason. And I was talking, opening up the show tonight. I don't know if you heard it, but I was really taken aback over. I was just poking around on social media from stuff that people were sending me that these topics and these attacks that people are doing with each other out there. And I found it really fascinating. I don't know how we got here today, but I sense this. There's this pull that's going on. People want to be better. People want to be good, but and I feel that, and I feel this awakening. But at the same time, there's this negativity out there that is forcing people into negative thoughts. And this is, so I posted this goofy picture of me today when I was 15, just trying to distract people, off of that and maybe laugh a little bit and get off of these negative things. But the ancients going back, would we be embarrassed? What we have evolved into today, would we be embarrassed? Would the ancients be proud of our evolution to where we are today?
Unfortunately, I think they had the same type of behavior back then in just a different way. So you're always going to get two main groups. And I find that because we live in this polarity universe and because we see it so well on social media, it's like we can come out with something very beautiful. And the first comment that goes on something that you say beautiful is something like, are you saying this just because you want to make more money? It's just so in your face.
It's an immediate negative response. And I really, really don't get it. I thought, and I mean this from the bottom of everything that I am. I thought that the world was hopefully a lot like me, which is you want to chase rainbows, you want happiness, you want good for the world, you want what's best for your family and your kids and your dogs and your friends and helping people and just positivity, because there's the negativity out there. And I really thought that we would be able to push this thing forward, and I just don't get it. I really don't. Is it in our DNA?
it's very, very easy for us to be drawn into these dramas or attacks. And it's almost like we're spectators in a gladiator fight. We're like in the stands watching how people are commenting and how people are fighting with each other. And we're kind of like getting riled up and involved just reading these comments, which I think is the point of what's happening here. And I find it, sorry, I'm getting a little cough here. But I find it that, especially when you're trying to post something positive or post something to help people, you get this huge onslaught of negativity, which, you know, it used to get to me in the past. And now it's just, I don't even read those comments anymore. And if they're really bad, I'll just delete them and just move forward with my life, because there's no point in even dwelling on what is being said.
No, there is no point in it. And I brought up something today. I've mentioned this a lot in the past, Jason, which is if you live to the age of 70, you've got 25,550 days. That's it. And I have gone up to people before and just I've sat around. I can't do it anymore because I've talked about it so much. Everybody knows what I'm about to say, which is I can sit around the table and go, okay, so you live to the age of 70. Is that 25,000 days? Is it 250,000 days? Or is it 2 million days? Right? And I've had people go, oh, yeah, it's 250,000. Really? No, you know, I've had people, it's probably, it's about 2 million days. They don't realize, right, that how precious our days are here. It's 25,000. And if you're 35 years old and you live half of that, you got 12,000 days left. That's it, man. If you make it to 70. And most don't really stop and understand how precious your days and seconds and minutes are. Why would you do any of that time in a negative light? Why would you do that? I mean, why? Is it that much of our DNA where we just can't, or do we need to make people more aware about how precious life is?
Well, they need a near-death experience. And, you know, like just in November, I almost lost my life. And I have a very weird story to tell you in the audience because I just came back from Tokyo. And I'm hanging out in Tokyo with a couple of my friends. And one of them is a very famous Mexican wrestler, which I won't give the name. But one night we just decided we're going to go to a concert, and we decided to go to a Korn concert. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Korn.
Oh, love Korn. Wait a minute. Korn, Tokyo, Mexican wrestler, and
Mexican wrestler.
Jason Quitt. That's a night out on the town.
Yeah, so you got to imagine that. Because I would never in my life imagine that. Right? And I go to this concert, and I feel like I'm back in high school watching Korn again. And something inside of me just broke open while I'm watching Korn. And I had this kind of like outer body experience. And I just kind of, emotions came out of me. And it was the first time in my life where I actually felt happiness and joy to experience life.
Did you stage dive? Did you stage dive? Did you?
Listen, actually, I stayed back because of my broken back situation.
But you would have. You would have.
Well, I'll just say the Mexican wrestler did.
Oh, right. So what happened? What happened? Out of body,
and just suddenly something opened up in me, and I felt all these emotions bubble up, and I just couldn't hold it in, and I felt this overcoming of joy and happiness. Just to be there in that moment to experience life. And I was just like giving thanks that, oh my God, like I almost died a couple months back, and now I'm standing here enjoying this show with my friends and all these people.
Right.
And it really touched me.
Right.
It was amazing. So I had this kind of new motto come to me, which is just, we need to celebrate life. We need to just experience it and feel the joy in all these moments that we have, because life is short. So why dwell on all these problems when we could see the beauty and strength in what we have right now?
Yep, that's exactly it. And it's not about, and for anybody out there, especially somebody that is, 15, 20, 25 years old, younger, when life is a lot, it's not about me getting old and discovering my own mortality or some morose thought like that. It's not about that. What is seriously important here is you only have so many days to get things done. That's it. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Man, if I had a nickel for every time somebody older than me said, hey, man, life is short, and I ignored that, and now more so than ever, when I see this negativity being brought out in people, where you're spending time being negative against somebody else that has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Your life's not changing because of somebody else online. Man, it blows my mind. Now, and so with that, and I brought all of this up because your codes of creation and the way that you present it over on the Crystal Sun, and everybody should go and spend some time on the crystalsun.com. It's a great website that Jason's been doing for a long time. But let's spend some time on that, and let's set this up. First off, I need a definition for everybody when we're talking about the codes of creation over the next hour. What are the codes of creation?
There is some type of mathematical code, geometric code, or frequency code that underlies all of creation. And once we start to figure out this code, we start to see it in everything. We start to see it in the plants. We start to see it in the stones. We start to see it in the movements in nature and the cycles, and even the movements of the planets. So we start to see that there's a divine order or some type of blueprint written in our physical reality that we can look into and study. And this is what the ancients were very interested in.
Let's start with the grid.
Okay. And excuse me because I keep coughing, but we have to understand that we live in an open energy system. Everything around us, everything that we are, is open energy. We're always exchanging our energies, our thoughts, our emotions to the outer world, and it goes into this grid system, which is part of the planet. And the grid system goes to outer space, to the electromagnetic fields of the Earth, and that goes out to the planet. So really, our thoughts, our emotions, everything that we hold gets communicated out through these natural grids like the ley lines, the magnetic fields, into the universe. Excuse me.
You need to get some water. Do you have some water there?
Yes. Excuse me. Yes, I do.
Man, are you that sick?
It's a 13-hour flight from Tokyo, and when I got off the plane, I got this thing in my throat. And so it's been like, I don't like long flights. But so, and then the universe, just like the sun and the stars and the planets, they're also communicating energies, and they flow through our magnetic field, through the ley lines, and up through us as well. So we have this kind of in and out communication between these grids, and basically we think we're separate. Everybody says we're separate. Our problems are our problems, and we're going to hold it within us. But what they don't understand is that every step you take on this earth, you are transmitting what you're holding into the earth grid. It's almost like you're planting a seed into the earth grid. So, for example, if you're holding something very negative, like we were talking about earlier, every step you take on this planet, you're implanting that seed of negativity. And it just lays there dormant until somebody or something wants to feed it. And then it will grow. And it's the same thing in the human body. We can plant thoughts or emotions or even have those things within us. And they could be either negative or positive. And then we can feed it energy and we can grow it and expand it. And then as we walk this grid, we actually start to spread that information through the grid. So we are, in a sense, collectively creating this reality with how we think and how we feel.
This idea has been with us both orally and through symbols, geometry, architecture, sculpture. It's all around us, and they've been trying to communicate and preserve that knowledge for us today. I see it everywhere.
Yes. And in fact, the ancient temples were built very secretly with very sacred geometry measurements to connect to different energies of the land or to connect to different stars. And what it would do, it would be almost like a resonant chamber for those frequencies. So that when you would walk into these temples, you would actually be walking into the energies of that specific star or that specific being so that you can receive that information. So that's one of the biggest secrets of the temples, is that, you know, heaven and earth, so above, so below, is encoded in the geometry of the structure itself. So that when you enter the temple, you can actually start resonating with these very powerful frequencies, and you can actually receive healing, visions, some type of connection that you may not have had before just by standing in those different resonances.
Now, I'm going to help you out here. Every time that I ask a question while I am speaking, you drink water. Then you answer the question, and then I come back and I speak again. And when I speak again, you drink water again. Yeah, okay. Because I'll give a perfect example of what you're talking about right now. When you are walking around with negativity and you're putting that back out there through your feet, through your hands, through your mind, and back, and allowing that to perpetuate and for others to feed off of it, is the internet. Facebook and Twitter, 10 years ago was a happy place. It was a happy place. I never saw anything negative. Everybody was still kind of, and then as soon as that started to catch on a couple of years ago, now we have the art of trolling, professional trolls out there. Their gig, their life's mission is to go out and mess with somebody's head. And how wrong can somebody be right there? There can't be a more wrong of a person. But now it's everywhere. Like you said, you can say something positive, post a picture of a 2-year-old on a pony, and you're going to get a negative post. It's just, how can you, you know what I mean? It's incredible. And it is now, it's like a germ in a Petri dish, right? Bacteria, and it's multiplying. And that's exactly what you're talking about there. You're going to feed it. If you did the exact opposite, then the positivity would spread.
Exactly, and that's why now I'm just really trying to focus on the really focus on the positivity. And, I get emails, just like you, I get so many emails, people asking me to look into different things. Tell me if this person is real. Tell me if this UFO thing is real. What's your opinion on this negative thing? And it really pulls at you to kind of look at it. And there's so much out there. There's so much down the rabbit hole that you can go to any topic you want, and it's endless. So, that's also a trap. It's also a trap to just continually research and go down all those places, because it pulls your attention, and whatever you put your attention to, you're actually giving your life force to.
Yep.
You're feeding it.
Yep.
So, and that's also what the masters of the ancient world knew. They knew that they can create gods. They knew they can create demons. And then once they put it out there and created this thing, this belief, when more people would believe in that specific belief, they would give their life force to that thing. And then now it's part of the earth system. Now it exists. So we do create our reality. We're just unaware of our power that we can actually do this.
There is a talent that you can teach yourself, but it's the talent of the flip or the distraction. In other words, when somebody, look, I live by this rule. You cannot find me going negative anywhere. Right? Somebody posts something, somebody, I get a private message, I get this, and there's some negative thing. Hey, Jimmy, man, you've got to go and face the music on this. You've got to go and deal with this guy. This last guest that you had on said this, or this from last week, and I get it all day long. I respond to none of it. And if I do respond, you know what my response is? Sorry, bro. I don't do this. That's my response, and I have said over and over again, and I'm sure that there are people that will pop up in Twitter that will say, yes, Jimmy has said these words to me, which is, man, dude, spend your time, or dudette. It's not strictly male. Spend your time doing something else. That's it.
And
spend your time doing something else. I don't care. I truly don't care.
And you know what? In the end, and this is what I want a lot of people to understand, is that there are people out there that are purposefully doing some pretty awful things. And it'll come back. I've seen it just unfold naturally over time, where the person or people that are doing these things, they just get entwined in what they're doing, and they can't come back from it.
They can't. And
just
yeah, go ahead, finish up. We got to get to a commercial.
I'm just saying, time will take its course, and these people will not be around for very long.
That's it. Let's take a break right here. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. I feel bad. Jason doesn't feel good. He's coughing. He feels good on the inside. He's got a scratch on his throat on the outside. Sounds worse than it is. So I'm going to force him to get through this show. That's it. Drink water, Jason. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. We're going to continue with the codes of creation right after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly ancient life oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go Beckley Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. He's live from Miami. He's on vacation. He's got a scratch in his throat, but he'll be all right. Drink water. You know, Jason, it's really funny, but are you watching the advice here? Drink Jack and Coke right away. And then Karen comes back with that. Karen comes back with, don't go to the clubs. Echinacea, it's all here. Everybody is giving you advice. I like the Jack and Coke idea. Now chilled vodka shots, and there you go. I stay heavy on I do my moringa and olive leaf and pine bark and CBD. I do all of that every day. Life Change Tea, and I'm constantly on supplements. But I just posted a picture, an image up for everybody, the Flower of Life. And I have a really cool Flower of Life pendant, too, that I wear. The Flower of Life, let's start there. This represents so much of everything, from the universe down to our very cells in our body that hold us together. So let's start there. The Flower of Life.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's put it in a much easier way that people can understand is, let's say, for example, you're going to do a ceremony. And the first thing you're going to do in a ceremony is you're going to call in the directions, right? So you're going to connect to the directions, north, east, south, and west. You're going to connect to the earth below you. You're going to connect to the sky above you. And then you're going to go to your center, which is your heart. So right there's 7 directions, the center being your heart. Now, when you're turning to all these different directions, it's almost like a sphere, an energetic sphere or a bubble comes and you can feel it touch your palms. And when you put your hands down at the earth, you can feel this kind of magnetic field bubble come up from the earth and support your hands. So when you're looking at this formation of these bubbles, these 7 bubbles, 6 bubbles around you, and the 7th is within you, your heart. If you look at that 3-dimensionally, that's actually the seed of life formation, which is the basis of the flower of life. And so we have this kind of blueprint within us and around us all the time, and it connects us to our place in time and space. So this is where the flower of life starts to come from and build. We could also see the flower of life just in cells dividing.
Right.
And even a human being or any life, any human life, any animal life and human life, the first formation in the zygote formation with the first cells is actually the seed of life formation as well. So we were that formation at one time of our lives. And from there, it's our connection to time and space. So if we're doing a ceremony, for example, and we're calling in the directions, what we're doing is we're aligning our energy field to be in alignment with the flower of life formation, which opens us up to time and space. And now we can connect to different dimensions and different energies. So it's a very, very powerful tool of knowing that we are the flower of life. We are in a formation like this blueprint. And when we align those spheres together, we can now have access to different frequencies and energies that we may not have had before.
What I find amazing with the flower of life, and once you understand it and you remember it, you have to just get it ingrained, right? But once you do, you see it everywhere, and that's not a mistake. That's the universe. It's not a mistake. And you right here, give me a second. You can drink some water. I want to read something that you wrote about the flower of life. You say, when we look at the flower of life more carefully, we see that it's made of spheres, which are multiplying and spinning around a central sphere. And you start with the center sphere. Within this structure, there are certain laws that keep the sphere a sphere. Just like the Earth, the sphere structure is held in place by its spin and its poles. The geometric symbol for this is the star tetrahedron within a circle, or the Star of David. The 2 tetrahedrons within the circle create an amazing vortex of energy that flows from the center point of the circle and out its poles. This interaction of spin and geometry creates a donut-shaped field with the vortex in its empty center. We see this exact pattern in everything from galaxies, solar systems, planets, chakras, cells, and DNA. Everything is spinning within these grids, which connect everything to everything.
Thank you for reading that for me. I would have difficulty saying that right now. But yes.
And you go back and just from what you wrote it so well here that it just had to be said. But once you can go back from that writing of yours, and then go back to the flower of life, go back to it, read it again, and get this ingrained in your mind. And it's not some hippie thing from the 60s, you know. That's not what is being stated here. It is connecting everything to everything, and you can just walk around and observe this throughout your day.
Yeah, and the ancients knew this, and it was the greatest knowledge was that the geometry was basically the blueprint, or the Bible of God was geometry. And this was so sacred that it was hidden in many secret societies. And this is where you get the Masons. They put those geometries in the temples that they built. And they taught the builders, the architects, how to build so above, so below with all these very sacred geometries so that they can bridge heaven and earth together, bridging the square and the circle, which is the circle is the infinite and the square is the finite, which is physical manifestation. And their goal, and all our goals, is how do we bridge spirit or the infinite with the material world? How do we take those two things and put them together? And this is what they were trying to do with the study of geometry and trying to find these blueprints, these geometries in which all life flowers from. And this is where you get that word, the flower of life. It's where life flowers from. This is why, the symbol of the lotus in Egypt, at nighttime, the lotus would close and go under the water, would be unconscious, go to the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
And then every single day when the sun would rise again, it would be a brand new world. And the lotus flower would come up and open again, and all would be manifest again. So it's like have all these mythologies connected to this unseen world. And how do we bring this unseen world to the physical world? And this is like the alchemist trying to turn iron into gold. It's to bring these energies into physical manifestation, to be enlightened, to learn philosophy and spiritualism.
For those out there that don't get it or are fighting it and are comfortable in their place in the status quo, right, where they actually think that there is nothing else to life, right? There's nothing there. There's no life after death. There's no life out there in the solar or in the universe. It's all about working and watching sports on the weekend, whatever it is, right? There's nothing else to life. That they don't understand these codes, these cycles that the universe has put together for us. There's a reason why the sun goes down at night, comes up during the day. There's a reason why the Fibonacci sequences are in everything. There's a reason why DNA is shaped like it is. Everything is done with perfection. Perfection. And the very fact that you go to bed at night and wake up in the morning is part of the cycles of everything. But they don't recognize that. They don't walk out in the backyard and take a really close look at a leaf on a tree, a blade of grass. Their dogs, their cats, they take everything for granted that this is all there is. But the flower of life and these codes are everywhere around you. And it's such a wonderful thing to experience. How do we get them to understand how to figure out what is making everything work? How do we do that?
Well, all we have to do is look at the sun and the moon and the earth and its relation to each other. And it has all these very specific ratios between the earth and the moon and between the moon and the sun and its rotation around each other. And, and if you look at an eclipse, for an example, the sun and the moon is the same size. When you look at a lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow cast on the moon virtually the same exact size as the moon. So the ratios between the Earth, the moon, and the sun is so absolutely perfect that if it was off by a lot, or if it was just off by a little, there probably wouldn't be life supported on this planet. So it has to be right at that perfect distance and that perfect orbit, that perfect speed for all of this to work. If that changed, we would have a completely different world and we probably wouldn't survive.
People talk about vibrations a lot, and they probably don't understand what they are actually saying. They hear the word, but and cycles and codes, just like you're referring to here. But you're absolutely right. If anything was out of whack, nothing would work. And what I mean by that is, look at our solar system. All of these orbits, they're on the same plane. They're on the same plane. They're not off in other, or everything is synchronous and works to make everything else work. It goes down in a chain all the way down through the flowers, down to our DNA, the way our cells, everything is connected. And there are those out there that want to fight that very thought. They don't understand.
Yeah, and they use that word vibration a lot. And, I hear people say this all the time. It's getting to be a very common thing where it's like if someone's sick or if someone's in negativity, they'll say, oh, you're just low vibration.
Right.
And I just, that's the wrong definition for that word. We, within us, have so many different vibratory rates. And we also have our own vibratory rate. So each person basically has their own song when they're born, their own rhythm. And that rhythm fits with natural cycles, natural rhythms, and it's hooked up to something, the only way I can describe it is a cosmic clock. So when I have all these experiences, it's not like I plan the experience. I'm not meditating and say, please let this experience happen. It could just happen spontaneously. And I realize that it's the movement of the planets. The planets were in the right alignment. An energy came through the grids of the planets. It resonated me because I resonate with those frequencies. And it just activated something within me to have these experiences. And it's part of this grand cycle of you being connected to the natural forces that allow this unfoldment of consciousness to happen. So yes, we can meditate. Yes, we could do Qigong. We could eat clean, vegan, organic, but we're also on our own song, our own vibration that's connected to natural forces that has, it's almost like it has a plan for us. So we can't jump ahead too fast. It'll hold us in our place until a certain experience is met. And once that experience is met, we will vibrationally shift as the planets or the energies of the earth shift. It'll have this resonant effect that will change us. So we are very, very much connected to this whole cosmic cycle we see in front of us.
If we take things to the next step with all of this, how do you suggest that somebody understands the power behind the flower of life and this sacred geometry that goes back through all of the mystery schools throughout all of time? How do we do that? I mean, what would you say to them? What were you told?
Well, what I would say is that the brain, the mind, just human nature, we're always looking for beauty. And let's simplify it. Let's just call it beauty. So when we see something very beautiful, let's say like a flower or a bird or something that brings us joy or pulls our attention to its beauty, we stare at it, we look at it, we admire this object. And as we're staring at it, we're actually receiving information from this object. So by staring at a flower that has these codes, because a flower has this beautiful geometry within it, if we sit and we contemplate the geometry of, let's say, this flower or a leaf or a plant, or even the geometry of a crystal. Just the sitting or the act of meditating on that geometry, we will start to shift the patterns of our mind. And it could actually have a physical effect, a mental effect, or an emotional effect. It could actually change us at a level that we're not even aware of. So when I first started to get into this, I was shown mandalas. And mandalas are from the East, from Tibet. It's usually in Buddhism and in Hinduism as well. Many cultures have mandalas. And what they would do is they would create these beautiful geometric paintings or sand art, and they would just sit and gaze and look at these geometries in meditation. And for some, they were like portals to other dimensions. For some, it brought them great healing or clarity. And, you know, if you were to go to a, let's say a Tibetan master, a couple hundred years ago, you're sick, you're going to the temple, you can go to the Tibetan master and say, you know, heal me. They'll look at you and say, okay, you know, here's some herbs, here's some exercises, and here's a painting of a mandala. Go home and meditate on this painting. And just the simple act of meditating on these symbols, it somehow changed the resonance of the sickness, and it put them back on the path of health. So these symbols, even if it's just paint on a wall, has some type of resonant power that can change the frequencies of the mind to affect change physically in the body for healing. So this is a very untapped resource that we have, where just by looking at the symmetry, and we're always looking for symmetry. We think symmetry equals beauty. So whatever's more symmetrical, we believe is more beautiful. If we're trying to find the symmetry or balance in things, it's actually helping us find the symmetry and balance within us. So there's this reflective thing that's happening as well.
This just came in from Dew Sky. Please ask Jason the importance of squaring the circle.
You got it. And there's many variations of this, so I'm going to try to, and I touched on this a little earlier, is the lifelong process of becoming one with spirit. That's squaring the circle. So basically, an alchemist or a geomancer, their whole philosophy in life is to one day square the circle, which is to bring complete balance and harmony between both worlds at once in one form, which is the physical form. So it's almost like becoming this portal or master, that you are the doorway, you are the connection between matter and spirit. And that's also the definition of the flower of life, is the bridge between matter and spirit.
I've been watching a lot of, I'm going to dive into this a little deeper after the break. I've been watching a lot of, watching and reading a lot of debate on simulation, you know, and simulation theory and it, you know, and our life around us. And listening to you now, so is everybody else. Eddie just tweeted that, he disagrees that life is a consequent, not an engineered outcome. You know, this is part of the conversation that's going on in Twitter. And what I find interesting with that, there are those out there now in physics, scientific community, astronomy, that are with the Big Bang and with what happened with that, the way that the universe is done now, and I'm talking about the mathematical side of the way galaxies are created, the Fibonacci and spirals and math, and that the math that they are trying to get a mathematical equation that will show that everything has a predetermined outcome. And if that is indeed the case, right, that things happen, things happen the way that they did because they were supposed to happen that way. And therefore there is math behind it that supports it. And if there is math behind it that supports it, that we are talking about numbers, we're certainly talking about ones and zeros, and that we could possibly be living in a predetermined simulation that there is no chance. Right? Now, that's a pretty interesting way to look at it, and I get that. Then there's the other side that says, no, everything is chaos. You make a decision based on your decision at that moment, whether you go right or left. You go left. You had the possibility of going right, but this is free will, and it is not predetermined. And this is a fight that is going on right now. And when we are talking about the codes of creation and life and consciousness and the moving forward of everything, we've got a real battle on our hands. Which way is it? And one is just as frightening as the other.
And for me, it's that whole thing is less important to me. It's more for me about what philosophy is going to make my life better, or what's going to bring more joy and happiness to my life. And I do believe all those things. And I know you say, how can you could believe one or the other? I do believe there is the laws of chaos. And I believe that there's the laws of order or natural orders, and they kind of fight with each other. And that's what actually moves us forward, is this kind of fight, trying to find this balance between both of those things, between free will and chaos and all this stuff. It's like if we just kind of use both of those, it's going to propel us very far into the future.
It's really weird, too, because when somebody says to me, and which I believe in karma, right? So you go and you do something wrong, and then you're walking home after you did your bad thing, and you get hit on the head by something, right? That's karma, ha, ha, ha. Well, then you can back off of that and say this, well, that's the way the universe works. There's no positive without a negative. There's no yin without a yang, right? It's the very essence of everything. It's a positive and an electric, positive and negative charges and particles are what bind us together. Right? So, and that goes down to our very, what holds our cells together in our body, or our car, or our home, or the drops of rain outside. It's pretty bizarre. So it's exactly what you're saying right there. You actually have both.
It's also cause and effect. If you're going to do something, you're going to get hit back with it pretty soon. And, people are very much into the polarization. Are you dark? Are you light? It's like, what happened?
Oh, man, we got disconnected. Wow, that's interesting. I'm going to take a break right there. Anyway, that was weird. Just popped up. We'll get Jason back here in just a second. This is Faded Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, Jason Quitt, talking about the codes of creation. At the top of the hour, I want to believe. It's Faded Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
All Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy.
Do you worry a lot? Whether you're a college student, busy professional, parent, or grandparent, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in 1 to 2 weeks. Call 1-800-758-8746 or calmandclever.com.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Jason Quitt. Live from Florida. Jason, drink your water. Now's when you drink your water. We're talking about the codes of creation, and at the top of the hour, we're going to jump to I Want to Believe. And, Jason, it's really funny. I'm reading another tweet from Deuce Guy, which is, we were told to be true to thyself and to honor your true being. Jimmy and Jason, what if we are all truly inside not so nice, but bad, really bad? I want to share a story. I'm going to give you the short version. I'm in second grade, and there was a kid at the back of the class that never did his work. And I would watch, the little handouts, the little worksheets or whatever. He would take it and put it in his desk, flip open the desk, throw it in, and never do it. And I was like, man, I want to do that, right? So I started to not turn in my stuff, and I would throw it in my desk like him and was goofing off. One day, I came back after recess. Teacher had my desk open, all of the unfinished work on the floor, and said, you're going to go across the hall into first grade. right? I was like, wait a minute, what about him? And I pointed the finger, right? And I said, well, what about his desk? Never mind him, across the hall. And I had to spend a week in first grade. And I was just, you know what I did after that? All of my work. I got back in, and I was like, you know what? You can't be negative. You know, you can't. The universe has a funny way, and I tried to be bad. I tried. They wouldn't let me. I just, it wasn't that an interesting life's lesson.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of bad people out there, and you know, for me, it's like you just are the way you are, and you know, some people say I'm too nice, but I can't change who I am. And, you know, maybe they can't change who they are. And that's just what brings balance to this world, that there's always this polarity happening.
It's interesting because it's everywhere. And I don't know, when you hear negative things about somebody in history, well, I wasn't there. Okay. I wasn't there. So, you know, we're only fed the information that we're given. Or through the news cycle today, you hear negative things about different people around the world or on social media. Well, I'm not there. I'm not. I don't know. We're only fed this to paint a picture about somebody. What I choose to do is to do the right thing. You know, and that's a hard. Being bad is easy. Being bad is really, really, really easy. And the best example, I've told my daughters since they were old enough to understand what I say, is this: life is going to present you the right way or the wrong way. The wrong way is easy, right? And it may even seem fun. The wrong way is the easy road. Doing the right thing all the time is hard work. But that's what I choose to do. I choose to do the right thing. And I fight it every single day. I fight it just like everybody else, you know. And I've got my faults, you know. I do, but I try to just be the best person that I can be every single day. And those are life's choices, and that's the way the universe works.
Exactly, and there's no religion or beliefs about it. It's just, you know, you're a good person. You act out in a good way. And, you know, people may look at you and say, you know, oh, you know, you have this show, you're on the air and talking, but how much work have you put in your whole life to get to where you are? It's like nobody sees the steps that it takes to get to where you are. They just want to be at that stage. And it's very difficult, and you have to work very, very hard every single day just to continue to be at this level or continue to do what you love doing. It's always a struggle.
And so what do we do when the opposite happens? When we're out of sequence, when we start to fall into that chaos? What do we do about that? How do we get ourselves back on track? We have so many things that are pulling us in all directions all the time.
Well, for me, you know, I always tell the story that I really didn't have a choice for my path. And it's like every time I would get sick or every time I would go off my journey, that's when I would have all these crazy experiences. It was almost like Spirit would take a 2x4 to my head and say, what are you thinking? This is not where you're going. You have to go this way. So is it like free will or is it predestined? I think it's actually both. I think before we come here, we set out a mission or a plan that this is where I want to go, this is where I want to end up, and this is what I want to experience. So that is your plan that you've come into this world with. And then as you're in this world, you may deviate from that plan, and with free will, you're allowed to deviate from that plan. But if it's too far off that plan, you're going to get pulled back somehow. And a lot of times it's not fun. You may get sick. You may get into an accident. You may, something may happen to you where you have to, change your life to get back onto that path that you're supposed to be on.
And, in our body chemistry, the very basic things that we're made up of are connected to everything else. Not to get all esoteric and stuff, but it's true. And our body depends on certain things, like the sun coming up in the morning. We are biologically connected to that. It's the cycle of life. But when we feel ourselves starting to get out of that rhythm and out of that, what is causing it, and how do we get back into the rhythm?
Well, we just have to get back into the natural swing of things. And you know how your phone needs a software update once in a while? It needs to connect to the cloud and get the new information. It's the same thing as the human consciousness. The sun, every single morning that sun rises, it has new information, and it's passed through the light. So if we stand outside and we just, I'm not going to say gaze at the sun, but just even being out in the sun and having that light touch your body, you're getting an upgrade, you're getting a download of new informations for your cells to continue this cycle, this new cycle. So if someone is really off their rhythm or their cycle, they need to disconnect. They need to just disconnect from their computer, Facebook, cell phone, and they need to reconnect with nature. They need to put their feet in the sand, put their hands on a tree, or watch the sunrise or set. And these will help reset the body's clocks. And also, what you mentioned earlier is extremely important. Every mineral in your body, every mineral and metal has its unique vibration. And call it like a string to a harp. If you're missing those elements in your body, your harp is incomplete, so you're not making the right rhythm, you're not making the right song. So you have to kind of supplement and get the right nutrition in the body so that you can resonate in those natural frequencies. So someone that is very deficient in minerals or nutrition, it's very difficult for them to get into the cycles that we're talking about because they don't have that vibrational nature to even resonate or connect to those cycles.
We have, I'm talking about Rita and I, every day we do the same thing. When we get up, of course, we make some coffee in the morning, and we go straight out to our patio and sit in the sun and talk. When we throw off that cycle, when we don't do that, I can feel it starting off the wrong way. And our whole day is in front of us, right? The whole day is in front of us. And if we deviate off of that little ceremony that we do, which is going out in the sun and drinking coffee and having our conversation, it throws everything off. I can feel it's just like, dude, do the right thing. Get out into the sun because it throws off our day. And it's exactly what you're talking about right there. And that's what we do. That's how we start off the day. And I live by it. I literally practice what I preach right now with what we are talking. That is what we do every single morning, every day, 7 days a week.
Absolutely. And another thing is, if you're going to take up a spiritual practice, for example, let's say like a meditation or a qigong, the most important part of that whole thing is choose a time of the day and stick to that time. That's the most important time, or that's the most important advice for anybody that meditates or does qigong, is to do it at the exact same time every day, because your body will get accustomed to, at that time, you're putting aside everything to be in that energy. And you'll see that your body will develop such a muscle memory to you relaxing or meditating at that time that you don't have to be meditating. You can just close your eyes at that time and you're going to go really deep, really fast because your body's already prepared to do it at that time.
Do you think that part of the issues that we have with electromagnetism, the internet, screen staring at you in the face, that some of this negativity that has been activated, it's been turned on, is because a large amount of these individuals aren't getting out into the sun. I don't want to talk about the kids in their parents' basement, but certainly that is part of it. But that they're not getting out and disconnecting and resetting the cycle of life.
It's true, but also all our technology is hooked up to 60 hertz electrical fields. And when we are sitting in front of these devices, our body is slowly going into resonance with this 60 hertz frequency. And it not only drains us, but it really kicks us off our cycles. And I also want to go a little more spiritual here and say that because so many people are invested in the internet, they're invested in social media, the internet has an energy. We've created this being, this energy field that is the internet, and there's a lot of not so nice things there. So if we're on the internet and we're putting our attention to certain places, certain websites, we're connecting to actual spiritual energies that may really affect us and drain us.
The other part of this, which again, staying aligned and finding that a lot of people can do it naturally and not even understand why things are good for them because they're doing things in a natural way, and they're going with the flow. But for those that are awakened but find themselves in what I want to say, in a negative light more times than not, then maybe it's just about not being aligned and not, because our body is I don't want to say vibration, but nature works because nature works. It has perfected it, and the planet works because of the way it has evolved. And sometimes you need to step back and try to figure out what is causing the negativity, what is making you go in a negative way. And that's part of the codes of creation. Spot on.
Yes. And, even in some cultures, when someone's really disconnected or sick or has a lot of this negative energies, what they do is they dig a hole in the ground and they put the person in there and they bury them with like a snorkel tube so that they can just be back in the earth and realign their energies. And I know that's very extreme, but it's all part of this reconnection to this natural cycle. Because we do take a lot of these energies on, and they're not ours. It's like we're taking a disease, like a thought or a negativity. We're taking this disease, and now that we have this disease, we're feeding it more and more and more. And the internet is like the perfect breeding ground for this type of thing, because if you want to go down that negative rabbit hole, it's extremely easy. And I know people that will go on Facebook, for example. Sorry, and I'm drinking. And they'll see a story of, let's say, animal cruelty, for example. And now their whole day is ruined because they've seen something so terrible online. And it's hitting a trigger within them. So that trigger has always been with them. Like, you can see something online and it not affect you. Doesn't mean you're a bad person because you're not feeling what you're seeing. But if you have this wound within you, when you see that online, it triggers you, and suddenly your whole day is ruined. So from a shamanic perspective, you can say that this negativity online is triggering you and showing you your wounds. And now that you know that you carry those wounds within you, you have an opportunity now to heal them because now you can see them. But most people, they won't understand that. They won't see that this is inside of them and it's being reflected from what they see online.
The media has figured that out. You know, Facebook has figured that out. Those tools have a way of triggering. I figured it out. I found out very quickly a few years ago, and I started talking about this. I would see something, it would ruin my day, ruin my month. And then when I stopped, I cut it off. It would physically change me, and when I cut it off, it was absolutely wonderful. And that's when I figured out the art of not watching, picking and choosing what I wanted to see, picking and choosing what I wanted to read, picking and choosing who I wanted to interact with, picking and choosing who I wanted to return phone calls from. Right? And I immediately started, and this happened about 5 years ago, I immediately started cleaning up things, and it was amazing the transformation of physical and mentally that I went through. And I did it naturally because I figured out what was triggering these things. It's amazing. And if you start it, and it instantly will change.
And it's not to say that you're not aware of what's going on around you and aware what's happening on social media. We're aware. The thing is we're not being pulled into the fight. We're not being pulled into this wound that is never going to get healed unless you disconnect and work on yourself. There's no other way of doing it.
It was amazing to me when I stopped watching the news on TV. Right, that's one of the main things. I stopped that. I pick and choose what I want to get my information from. Right, that's what I do. But when I started to block in social media negative people or comments, it doesn't take much for me to block somebody, and then I'll get the inevitable email, dude, man. You block me because you can't handle, people talking, about you, or you know what? You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Yes. I don't want to deal with it. I don't care about it. I don't care. I literally don't care. And if that's what you choose to do, go and do it, but you're not going to do it in my world. And if I have to artificially paint this Disneyland, this Warner Brothers cartoon around me, I'm going to do it because I just don't have time on this precious, beautiful world for negativity. I don't have time for it.
Amen.
Amen. I know, right? And you went through, before we head to the break, and then we'll start talking UFOs here in a second. You went through a pretty harsh time. We don't have to get into specifics, but you went through a pretty harsh time with negativity. And how did you start to figure out how to deal with that?
Well, actually, I was extremely naive with it, and I couldn't understand why this person would say what they're saying or do what they're doing. It just logically didn't make any sense to me at all. It was just personal attacks out of nowhere that didn't mean anything, or where did this stuff even come from? And I just couldn't understand it. So I took it very personally at first. And then my friend John D'Souza, who you know very well, he just kind of like slapped me, gave me a wake-up call. It says, this person is like serial harassing you, and they're getting to you, and that's the whole point of this. Ignore them and let's cut them off from your life. And I didn't realize I can do that. It didn't occur to me that I could just hit ignore and delete and spam all these people's messages. And, now I don't think about them at all. And, they are still attacking me. But, it's, if that's the way they want to spend the rest of their life, like you said, that's their free will to waste their life on something that's not real.
You'll never get that time back.
That's right.
You will never get it back. I remember you calling me up and discussing this with me over the last couple of years. And that was the only advice that I have for anybody that's going through this. Dude, ignore it. Block, move on. And it's difficult. Yep. It's difficult. It's so hard because you want to you want to be defensive. You want to fight back. That's the natural thing. That's the impulse. But when you do that, you immediately open up the door to another response that you have to respond to. Now you're in a circle, and you'll never get to the end of it. You'll never get to the end.
That's right. So, and like, people may come up to me and say, like, I still don't consider myself even like at a celebrity status at all. I'm just me, and this is what I do. But there's a lot of people out there that see me differently. And because they see me differently, it's almost like it opens up this whole attack mode where, I shouldn't be out here talking. I shouldn't be at conferences. I shouldn't be writing books because they know more than me. And, it's just the way of the world, like why I'm here. And I worked very, very hard to get here. And I think I have a unique voice in what happened to me. And this is why I'm invited to share what I have to say with people. But once you get to this certain level, it's like the floodgates open and suddenly you have to deal with this new level of attacks from people. And I was just completely naive that would even happen. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting to learn how this works and how to just block it out and continue on the path. Because, like I said, my philosophy now is I'm celebrating life. It's like I'm coming on your show tonight because I love coming on your show. Even if I'm sick, even if I'm Florida, I just love coming on your show because I get to speak to not only you, but the people that listen to you. And it's a great honor for me to be here. So, of course I'll come on, even if I have a cough, just to share whatever.
And I'll tell you something. I got to head to a break, so I'll just say this really quick, and then we'll jump to UFOs. When I listen to everybody, I love to just interact and talk and hang out and listen and learn. But I have an off switch. I have an off switch that will click in a nanosecond. And you know when it switches? When somebody comes up to me and says, I'm right, that person's wrong. It's just like, switch. I am just disconnected. Whatever that person is saying, I don't even hear it anymore. I'm not interested. It's really funny. Come up to me and go, You know what? I heard what, I have my own thing over here, and that's a conversation. Now we can talk all night long. When somebody says I'm right and they're wrong, you need to listen to me. It's unplug. I'm done. Our guest tonight is the one and only Jason Quitt. He's He's in Florida on vacation, and he's not feeling well. It can't be a better show than that. When we come back, I Want to Believe with Jason Quitt. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt, and that's Quitt with 2 T's. I'm watching Twitter here, and Susie Q just literally, Jason, listen to this. I don't know how old you are, Jason. Well, I do, but I'm not going to say it. But she just tweeted this: no more toking and typing for me. Now, she just showed her age. Toking. Toking. I haven't heard anybody say toking. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's funny. That is too funny. You got to love this audience. They are toking and typing during the show tonight. I want to believe, and you know what I find interesting about that statement, and I had said earlier this week, I need the I want to believe poster, right? Here in the bunker. I don't have one. I don't have room to put one up, but I'm going to get one to make room. But what's interesting with that is the X-Files and that poster opened it up to a huge audience, that whole I want to believe mantra and T-shirts and things. And I thank Fox Mulder for that. But is it out of control, that statement? Is it out of has it gone? Is it too much?
I think that we've progressed a lot further than I want to believe, and there's many people right now in the community, and the younger people coming into this community, they don't want to believe. They already fully believe in UFOs and alien life. And because they fully believe in that concept already, any story that comes out, it could be a complete fabricated story, just like you were talking about Billy Myers. It could be a complete fabrication. But because they already believe, they're like, yeah, I accept it. And this is a very, very big problem that I see going on right now, because there's so much confusion, because there's so much information out there, and a lot of it is not real. So when you're mixing disinformation and information together, you're getting this huge conflict. And the people that are suffering is the people that are coming into this community now, because they don't know what to believe. They've heard so many different stories that just counter each other. And I find that over the past, I think it's been the past 2 years now, the fighting within the community has been growing and growing and growing. And it's over issues that we really shouldn't even be discussing or talking about. It's just a waste of time. So Stanton Friedman, for example, I think he just retired this month or last month.
Yes.
It's like, could you imagine a world where there's no Stanton Friedman at the conferences?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, who's going to take that place? So we're losing a lot of these amazing people that were really researching these topics. Like, it's their whole life's work researching these topics, and they have so much great information. And the younger generations, they really need to go back and look at all these different people that brought so much to the table.
I remember, I'm not going to say when or where, but Stanton and I were alone, and we were eating. Okay, and I'm not gonna get specific on this because I just don't want to. But anyway, him and I got into a little bit of a heated conversation privately, and I stopped myself, and it was in a good way. It wasn't a fight or anything like that. But the point is, he put me in check, right? And I had to step back and go, listen to Stanton, right? And it was a wonderful moment. And you're absolutely right. Not having the thought of him out there not putting people in check is a scary, scary thought. He did it to me on stage once. We were on stage, and we I said something, I don't want, and he just went bop, 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 in front of a lot of people. And I just stepped back and I went, okay, I just got slapped and I asked for it. And you're right. A world without Stanton. That's a crazy. We need that, man. We need people like him, like Richard Dolan as another example. You know, he'll put you in check really quick. So what do we do about that, though? What do we do about the cultish nature that happens inside of ufology? You know, you have all these different factions.
Yes. And, you know, I've been looking into, and I'm very young. I'm only 36. But I started looking into this around when I was about 22, 23 years old. So it's been a little while. And even back then on the internet, there were groups set up with different communities, like, I don't really want to name names, but like, let's say like you already said Myers community, and let's say like Ashtar Command or Galactic Federation, or all these different things were popping up even 15 years ago and beyond. And I would research and I would look at all these different groups, and it was basically the same type of narrative, but different characters. It was very strange. So it was almost the same type of messages, but just a different history or characters. And the thing that really caught me off guard was they would always say that they're the right ones, everything else is fake, and only trust and believe them. And I don't know if I should mention this name, but do you remember, do you know Michael Horn?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I can mention his name.
I'll deal with the email tomorrow. Actually, okay. No, everybody can send email to jasonquitt@gmail.com.
Go for it. No, but I actually did a conference with Michael, and we were on stage together. I was on stage. He was on the Skype screen behind me, so his face was like a movie screen compared to me on stage. And I was with Paul Hellyer and Patty Greer and and others on stage. And I would say my story, which is, you know, outer body experience, meeting different beings, getting information. And as I would talk, Michael Horn's face would get redder and redder and redder. And then right when I would finish, Michael would jump in and just basically say, oh, Jason's delusional, because the only person that's ever had these type of experiences is Myers. So anybody else that has these experiences, they're liars. You know, and that was my first kind of experience, kind of being face-to-face someone that really believes that there's only one person on the planet that is capable of having these type of experiences. And I find that in the community over the years, there's been all these pop-ups of people that have generated very large followings. And it's very much the same thing. It's just a different cast of characters, but the storyline, the narrative is pretty similar. And they would always present themselves as, I am the only person that represents this information. And if anybody else says otherwise, they're delusional and they're trying to copy me.
Right.
So we have to kind of put this out there. And this is why I'm speaking so frank, is that we have to put this out there so that people know that there has been countless numbers of these type of groups and these type of people that have come forward over the years since the 60s, 70s even. And it snares a lot of the community, and it really puts a lot of conflict in the people that are having, you know, genuine experiences that all they want to do is just share, this is what happened to me, or research, look what I found out. And then you get these other groups saying, I'm the representative of this, of the next coming of whatever, and listen to me or you're all going to hell, basically. So we really need, as a community, not to fall into these traps, because it continually happens. I would say every single year, somebody new like this comes out, and it causes a big uproar.
I think that one of the harsh realities that a lot of those are facing when we're talking about this is that if you are going to lay it all out there and say that I'm right and everybody else is wrong, and you put out information, and with the internet today, it's very dangerous because you can first off, it's all permanent, it's in the public record. But if you get proven wrong or called out, it can happen very easily and very, very quickly, and we've seen it time and time again. And so the better, cleaner path and I'm suggesting this not only to the audience members, but those out there that are writing books and that are listening to the show right now, or presenting videos, or you have a YouTube channel, you've got to be very, very careful to say that you have information and you are the only one with this information and this is what's going on and you've got to listen to me and don't listen to anybody else. You are going to fall on your own sword. You are going to get called out. That you need to go down the path of, this is what I have learned, and check it out and listen to everybody else. Let's have an open mind here and let's try to figure out this thing all together, because nobody is the gatekeeper to the knowledge. It doesn't work that way at all in any aspect of anything, not just the UFO question, but the origins of the universe or the art of soccer. It's all the same, man. You're not the master of you're not. Nobody is. Nobody.
And we fall into these traps. I mean, even myself, I fell into this trap because, I wanted to believe. It's like everything that I've heard from different whistleblowers or people from the internet or even at conferences, when someone new came forward with new information, it was so phenomenal that I wanted to believe it. And I got caught up in that trap because I wanted to believe that information, and it turned out to be all fabricated. And that hurt me very badly, because I wanted to believe this person. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. And because I did that, I left my guard down. So it was quite a learning curve to understand that there are people that will do this, and they do this purposefully in the community. I don't know if it's a psyops thing or, someone's paying them to do it.
Ego comes into play.
Ego comes to play too, yeah. It could just be a simple thing as they think they can make money. It's just a simple thing like that, where they think they could just put out a book and make a bunch of money. They obviously don't know that books don't make any money these days. But that's the thing. It's like, if I could fall in this trap, many people can fall into this trap. And it's like to the Stars Academy, you were posting things on Twitter a little back with the, I think it was the Tic Tac UFO.
Right.
That turned out to be a balloon.
Yep.
How can something at that level, be presented to the public? If they are at that level, it's a no-brainer. And I have a really great story. I have a friend who's not really into UFOs at all, but he was out jogging one day and he saw this object in the sky and it blew his mind. So he took out his camera phone and he took some video and pictures and he sent it to me. He said, "You're the UFO guy, check this out." And I looked at it and it was the most phenomenal UFO I've ever seen. I could not explain it. It was like a vertical UFO. Never seen anything like it. So I sent it to MUFON Canada, and they were so excited. They've never seen anything like that either. So it went all the way up the ranks of MUFON Canada, and they were so excited. They sent out field personnel to try to recreate everything and interview people because this was something they've never seen before. And I sent the photos to people who I thought were very credible. And they were saying, "Oh, this is like a UFO, a scout ship. This is
okay. Stop! Send it to me. I'm not going to post it. Send it to me right now.
I have to go on my. I can't send it to you right now. I'm on a cell phone. But when I get to my computer, I will send it to you. But what I have to say about this is that I sent it to UFO people that I thought were very knowledgeable, and they were telling me that this is a very common scout ship and they've seen this before. And anyways, MUFON Canada came back to me a couple days later, and they're saying, we found out what the UFO was. And it was a Mr. Peanut air balloon.
No.
It was a Mr. Peanut air balloon. There was a mall where my friend lives, and they were having this promotion in the parking lot, and they put up a freaking air balloon shaped as Mr. Peanut.
Well, see, this is what's interesting about that is it's a real object, right? It's not CGI. It's in the air. You've got the sky behind it. I love the fact that it's vertical, so now it's not horizontal. It's vertical. Was the Mr. Peanut hat? Was he wearing the hat?
Yeah, he was wearing the hat. But the way the sun was hitting it,
right?
It was like reflecting it like it was metallic.
I totally get it, and I was this was a few years ago. Somebody sent me a video. And I'm looking at it, and it looked, first off, it was moving, and it looked really cool, really mechanical. It had edges and squares, and it's up, and once it was moving, it looked like it had 4 engines on the bottom of it that were firing out like jet engines, on the bottom. And I couldn't tell. Anyway, so you look, and it made perfect sense, man. It had the 4 engines on the bottom and had this flat edge. And it had a really cool, it just looked like some kind of mechanical craft flying through the sky with these 4 jet engines or rocket engines on the bottom of it. Totally alien looking. And I'm looking at it and Rita and I were just blown away. And I'm thinking, this is the shot, man. This is the video. And then I blow it up. And I looked and I turned to Rita and I said, I know what it is. And she goes, what? I said, it's a crinkled up Mylar balloon. That's what it is. And it's those 4 spots on the bottom that are firing and turning off and firing. That's the sun reflecting off of the bottom. 4 perfect circles, but the way that the sun was reflecting, the rays, right, the reflection are firing back off at this angle, looked like rocket engines. And then I looked, and once we realized what it was, but it would have fooled anybody. It would have fooled anybody. So if I would have taken screen captures, which I did with Rita, and just instead of it being video, just images of a UFO in the sky, you would think that this was the craziest UFO image of all time. And it was just a crinkled up Mylar balloon.
Go
ahead.
No, I'm saying it's like I've seen UFOs up close and that I know are UFOs. I've seen a lot of objects in the sky that are basically balloons or something very weird, but it's not alien. It's definitely human. I've even seen a UFO in the sky that was a man-made balloon UFO. So it's very difficult for people to sort out these things. And this is why whenever I'm being interviewed, I always say the UFOs I'm interested in are the plasma UFOs, because those are the ones that they're definitely not something we understand.
Right.
it can't really be explained as a balloon when it's just this huge luminous object that pulses in and out of dimensions. So that's what we should be focusing on, is that the 1%, that's what is going on with these things. I'm sending you this UFO thing right now.
Tampa Rick just posted the Mr. Peanut in the sky. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You got to see that on Twitter. Okay, so I got it. Okay. Let me take a look at it. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Let me blow it up. I gotta see this. Oh, that is just awesome.
It's so weird, isn't
it's
it?
a Mr. P. Look, if that's a great UFO shot, yes. And now that I know it's Mr. Peanut, it is 100% a Mr. Peanut balloon.
Yes.
Right? But if you hadn't told me that, I'd be right with you. I'd be like, man, I don't know. But that's oh man, that is awesome.
And MUFON was like, I could tell they were kind of pissed. You know, they were really looking forward to this being a real UFO. And then when they told me, they were so disappointed. They were like, it was a Mr. Peanut J. Just stop calling. You know?
Yeah, you know, and it just so happens to be perfectly vertical.
Yeah.
You know, it's not at an angle. This is great. Should I post this on
Yeah, post that on Twitter for sure.
Okay, hold on for a second. Let me do this. Let me call this Mr. Peanut. Okay, all right. I'll save it really quick. And that is awesome, man. Okay. You know, the audience right now is just like, dude, post it. So let me get it up. Mr. Peanut visits Canada. This was in Canada?
Yeah, this was in Ontario.
Okay. All right, everybody. Sorry for the silence, but I have to do this correctly. Boom, done. Of course, I screwed up.
The thing that I found really amazing with MUFON, though, is they were extremely thorough, and they wouldn't even accept the picture that my friend sent me or the video my friend sent me. They wanted my friend to send it directly from his phone that he took it, so that all the metadata would be still attached to the video and pictures.
Right.
So they wouldn't even look at it unless it was sent from the phone or the camera that took that picture, which I found really amazing that they would go to that length. But it's, yeah. So, yeah, this is definitely, I want to believe. Exactly.
That is awesome. I need to take a break. Can I, you want to do 10 minutes of overtime?
Sure.
I want to stay on the multidimensional disclosure plasma side of things. We just, we got ahead of ourselves. I want to come back and close out the show with that, because I totally agree with you. It's one of the most important aspects of all of ufology, especially today as we're starting to understand more and more about what is going on. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. We got Jason Quitt. He's a little under the weather, but I think it's manageable. But we're having a great conversation tonight. So more with Jason right after this. I want to believe. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Here, and you are listening to my boy Jimmy Church on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hey, can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. The holidays are coming. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
I just tweeted out, welcome back, Fade to Black. I just tweeted out I should have sent that image to the stars. I should have done it. I should have sent this to TTSA. Dude, the proof. Give this to Elizondo. Guys, get this up there. Get this out. Get this on the website. Here it is. Now, behave. I'm just having fun, everybody. Calm down. I can see Twitter lighting up. Church, man, you're so harsh, man. I'm not being harsh. It's proof. It's proof of something. It's, well, this one's been identified. That's a great image, though. I can see why. The same thing happened to me years ago. I've only got you for a few more minutes, so I won't go back and relive the past. But I got taken, man. I got taken on some images that were sent to me, too, and I went to John Greenwald. I got it, dude. And the simple right click, just right click, Google search, and it got deflated pretty quick, too, as well. No pun intended. You were with us, Jason, last year up at ESETI. And I don't know if it was that Friday night or that Saturday night where everything was jumping off in the skies, man. We got the full treatment of stuff. And I don't know, and like the big sighting that we had a couple of years ago at Contact in the Desert with that, the green chrome balls. But there is something going on, and I totally agree with you. When it comes to plasma or the possibility of multidimensional, interdimensional craft coming into our vibrational frequency, where they reveal themselves to us, I think we need to scientifically start to take a look at this and try to figure out what's really going on.
Exactly. And the thing that fascinates me is I had this amazing experience. It was actually where I live in Barrie, Ontario, and it was over the lake, and it was a huge plasma ship that was just pulsating and glowing this beautiful orange-red light. And this thing was massive. You couldn't mistake it with anything. And as I'm, as I'm watching this, it's almost like, when you take a dimmer switch on the light and you just turn the light off?
Right.
That's what happened. It's like someone turned the dimmer off really fast and it's just gone. And it's like, I didn't see it shoot up like into the sky. It's almost like it went into another dimension, just very casually, just went from our world to another world. And I've seen this with a couple of these ships that are plasma. It's almost like this dimmer switch gets turned off and suddenly it's gone. It's just no longer existing in our dimension. And the only thing that I can think of that makes sense to me is that our planet and other planets with the electromagnetic fields, they create a portal system through time and space. And it's not like these ships are coming here to observe us or to say hello to us. I don't even think a lot of these ships even care for us or even know anything about us, but they're making jumps through different points in space and time. And these portals will open up in the Earth constantly. And these ships will appear to either power up, get new energy, or to just come here momentarily for the next portal to open that they can jump somewhere else. So it's almost like a pit stop on the way of many journeys. It's the only thing that I can think of that makes sense in my mind at this time.
When we were up at ESETI, and I'm so thankful that we had 100 of our friends up there when all of this craziness happened, and when you see specifically, I want to ask you about this. When we were looking off to the west, and that one, it looked like a bright star, huge planet that just appeared and was sitting there still, and then lit up and then took off towards the north. That I can't relate that to being something of our technology. But why, when something like that happens in front of us, why isn't that in the news? We couldn't have been the only people seeing that. That was a crazy thing to happen in the sky, and we don't have that. I assume our military doesn't have that. There's got to be another explanation for it. When you see something like that, what do you think?
For me, it's hard to put our belief systems and our logic behind what we're experiencing and seeing. And, there's so many people out there saying, why don't you take a picture or a video? These things are very hard to take good photos of. If I took my iPhone out and put it up in the sky, it wouldn't look like anything. So it's very hard to prove unless you have some serious camera equipment and scientific equipment. And I just think that they don't want us to know about it. It just comes down to keep them consuming. Don't look up at the skies. You're not supposed to know about this. So it doesn't exist. It won't make headline news. Because if there was a sighting, I forget who said this. If a UFO landed on the White House lawn, for example, and an alien came out and greeted you and shook your hand and then got back into the UFO and left, within 2 days, you're going to question yourself, did that actually happen to you? You know, it's like we have these pre-programs within our minds that say we shouldn't see these things. It's not in our belief system. So when these things happen, sometimes we just completely forget automatically because we're so programmed not to believe in the existence of these things. It's almost like we make them invisible. So the other thing about I want to believe is there's all these narratives going on, and they've been going on. I think the earliest ones I remember going on is from the 70s. And the narrative is that we're being prepared for some type of first contact or some type of arrival. And this is kind of being put into a lot of these narratives that somewhere along the horizon, there's going to be some type of an event where it will be a contact or a first meeting or some type of physical thing in the sky that all of us can see, and it'll be on CNN and everything. And now, you know, aliens are real. And maybe we are being prepared for something like that, and this is why we're having these discussions. And this is why, you know, all these people are coming forward with these channeled visions. But, you know, is that going to be truth? If something does show up in the sky, are we going to instantly believe what we're seeing? And I think we shouldn't. We should always step back from the situation and observe and see how things happen over time and not jump to any conclusions right away.
So I step up at Contact in the Desert. And as the first thing that happened, now look, we all look up into the sky and look at stars all the time. We do this our entire lives, and I've done it so many times. I've never seen anything move. Okay, I never have. And the first time that happened, it was the first time I looked up at this sky watch, and I literally put my head up, you know, just to capture the moment. And at that, I look at the first star that I see. I'm looking at, you know, thousands of stars in the Milky Way above me in the desert. But this one star captures my eye. And it's right at 12 o'clock, and I tilt my head up. And that star moved from left to right about, you know, you hold your arms up and, you know, a foot apart. It moved like a foot in the sky, just went and stopped and went poof and disappeared. And I had to stop. It caught me by surprise so much, and I had never seen anything like that. Changes your belief system. I've seen UFOs. I've never seen a planet move, or what I think is a planet, you know, and I see it, and then I grab the night vision. I go back to that exact spot where I saw it disappear. It relights, now it appears, and goes back to where it was and disappears again. And I was like, wait a minute here. Now we have to just stop. I myself have to just reprogram exactly what you're saying, right? Either I believe what I just saw as being real, or I dismiss this. I don't know how to put that into words. And I don't know if that was some kind of plasma thing happening, if it was just for me. I don't know if anybody else saw it. I don't even care. All I know is that's what happened at that exact moment that I tipped my head up. If I would have stepped up 10 seconds later, would it have not happened? Right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Is there a connection between our thoughts and these things in the sky?
Right.
And for a lot of people, they believe that they can just think about these UFOs and they'll appear in the sky. And there's a couple people that did this on video. So it's amazing that there is this type of connection. And Monica and I, we go for walks where we live at night, and we were walking after we came back from Yosef, and we were having this same conversation about, why do these things flash? Like, because, when you're at James, when they see a UFO, they yell, like, power up. They want to see this UFO power up and get really bright. And we were discussing, well, why would they do that? Like, why would they power up when everybody's yelling power up? And as I turned the corner, there was this huge bright flash in the sky, just blew up in front of me right when we had that conversation. And then it went away. And I was like, oh my God,
there you
this
go.
UFO just gave us a huge flash as we were talking about this.
I am so okay with that. I'm so okay with that. It's bizarre. And I know that, what's funny, Jason? There are people out there that are listening to us right now going, you know what? They're full of crap. And I don't care. I don't care, man, because it happens like that. It absolutely happens like that. And we were at Contact in the Desert like 5 years ago. I've told the story many times, but this is exactly what we're talking about. So we've got like 8 or 10 Fadernauts. We're all out. Steve Murillo and Alex Mastretta and Rick Sinnott, myself, Space Boy, Walter. We're all out on this patio in the middle of the desert. We were 20 miles away from Contact in the Desert. And somebody says, and we're out in the middle of the desert, right? There's nothing around us. We're at the foothills of the mountains. And somebody goes, hey, man, wouldn't it be cool, man, if a UFO just like appeared right now? And at that exact sentence, off in the desert, off in the background, was this white ball of light, shoots straight up off of the desert floor. It lasted for about 2 seconds. That fast, went up and disappeared into the stars right in front of us. And I don't care if it sounds like crazy talk. It's just what happened. I can't explain it. We all saw it, and it happened at that exact moment. So is there a connection? Is it somebody going, yeah. I can't explain it. I can only tell you how it went down.
Exactly. And this is how we should be speaking. It's just an experience. And if you share that experience with a group of people and everybody's saying this is what happened, then, it's a mystery. It's definitely not something that we can explain. And then when we start to attach our own belief systems to it, that's when it gets really messy. So the best thing to do is just experience and then share what you've experienced. Because what I found even telling my story, it's amazing saying, I had sleep paralysis. When I came out of my body, there was this tall shadow thing standing there. I tell that story all the time. And people from all over the world experience the exact thing. So it's like the more we talk about this openly, the more people come forward and say, you know what? I totally forgot that happened to me until you mentioned that on that show.
I'm glad you're on the show right now, because there was there were so many up at ESETI, but that one low-flying disc that came from the south behind us at an angle, I don't know, a mile in the sky, wasn't very high, but as it came over and we're all looking at it and screaming, right as it got to the 12 o'clock position, it flashed us brightly and then continued. And you were there, you saw it. It's incredible to describe. It was a Steven Spielberg moment. You could see the shape of it. You could see it changing colors. It was white and pink and then went to blue. But right when it was over, its disc shape, right at the 12 o'clock position, it flashed us and then continued. And it was a bright flash, right? Now, when I say that, when I tell this story, it sounds extraordinary. But you were there. You saw it.
Yeah. It was incredible, and I've never seen anything like that. So that was the first time I've seen something like that.
Me too. That was nuts.
And it was low. That was the thing that blew my mind, is that it seemed to be pretty low.
It was low.
And it just came very, like, it wasn't flying that fast.
It wasn't
came
flying
right over us. Yeah.
It wasn't.
And we're like...
And let's, you say it all so perfectly right there. It was low. It wasn't like a shooting star. It was medium speed. So we had a chance to focus in. You could see the detail of it. And it just flies right over us at this. It wasn't like north-south. It was like going from southeast to southwest. So it was at an angle. Anyway, but we could see. I have said I almost thought that I heard it. It was that low, right? And then it just flashed us right as it was right on top of us. It just lit up,
and it was this pink light. And I've never seen a pink light like that before. So it was a very distinct pink light that changed when it went over to that blue that you were talking about.
Right.
But it's the pink light that I remember, because I've never seen anything like that.
Right.
Especially that color.
And as it went away, and we're all just staring at it like, man, did that really just happen? As it's cruising away and we're looking at the back side of it, it changed to this beautiful seafoam green, blue, white color, and then just kept on going.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And, thankfully, there's got to be over 100 people with us at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all yelling at the sky. Like, we're just all yelling because, we're all experiencing this together. And I think that night there was a good, I don't want to say 100, but maybe like 30 or 40 things flying through the sky.
Yeah. It was like the end. It was like the end of Close Encounters. I keep talking. I can't put it into any other perspective than that, because we were seeing stuff to the left, to the right, in front of us, above. It was action. People were yelling. There's another flasher. There's another. Look over here. Look. And I was just like, my head was on a swivel. That was a crazy night. That was a crazy night. I'm glad that you're right. I'm glad that I experienced it with you, and we had so many friends that were there. That was just absolutely incredible. Okay, so you're going to be at Contact in the Desert, of course. What are you going to be speaking about there?
I'm going to be speaking about my experiences again. I'm also going to be speaking about what I think is the next step in this whole process and what we're being shown. I'm going to talk about the new children that's coming to the planet and the new things that are coming out through channeling. A lot of different topics, but I'm going to focus mostly on the UFOs and different UFO content. And at ESETI, coming up at Soul Tech with you, I'm going to be focusing more on, awakening the multidimensional self, reconnecting to the land, because I think the land, actually I know the land around Mount Adams there, where ESETI is extremely sacred. It's almost like the veil is so thin that you can see these things, especially the things of the earth, like the Bigfoots and the fairies and different things there. So I really want to explore the nature of that for Soul Tech.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like at the Soul Tech gathering at ESETI with 300 Fadernauts out there on the Skywatch field, and what is going to happen each night for everybody? Oh, man.
It's going to be a celebration. That's all I know. It's going to be very fun.
It's going to be amazing. I just cannot wait for this. And the thought of, again, I want to say this, the Fadernaut family And this audience is magic, right? And the bonds that have been created over the years. But the energy that is going to be when we get 300 of us all together at ECETI for 4 days and nights, it's going to be one of the great events and memories to last a lifetime. I'm so looking forward to this.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be stories from this event that are going to last a lot of talk shows.
I know, right? And you know, and this is the thing. We traveled together to ECETI. That was just that road trip was pretty memorable. Getting there with you and all of us, right? We had Holly and Mark were with it. That was a really fun trip, and Monica and of course, Rita and but it was leaving ECETI was tough. I was like, Rita and I were just like, we can turn this sucker around right now. We can go back. Yeah, it was, the memories were just incredible. So we're going to recreate all of that and create some new ones together, but it's going to be amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Jason, and thank you for being a trooper. See, you got through it. You sound fine now.
Well, I'm actually sitting outside and breathing in the salt water and the humidity, so that's helping a lot.
Are those waves breaking in the background? Are you right on the beach?
Yeah, I'm pretty close, so you're hearing the ocean stuff. So I hope it wasn't so loud.
Oh man, no! It created the correct vibe for tonight. Thank you so much, Jason. Give my best to Monica, and you guys enjoy your vacation and get back to Canada safe. And then we'll see you in about a month, 5 weeks out here, Contact in the Desert, and then of course the Soul Tech Gathering at ECETI. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Jason. Jason Quitt, everybody. And, of course, the website is thecrystalsun.com. Thecrystalsun.com. The Codes of Creation article is there. And it's always great reading over at the Crystal Sun. And, of course, crystals are over at the Crystal Sun. We didn't even talk about crystals tonight. And all of Jason's books, just great stuff over there at thecrystalsun.com. And back to ECETI, I really want to stress this. It is a very singular place. There are a lot of great locations around the United States, and Joshua Tree and Sedona. There are amazing places out there. There's no question about it. Colorado, the Four Corners. But ECETI, and the way that we have put this event together up there, the Soul Tech Gathering, for 300 of the Fadernauts, it's just going to be incredible. And what Jason and I have described, what we personally went through up there together, I swear I'm not stretching this out. The sightings were incredible. But we did it together, and we experienced it together with 100 other of our friends up there. And we have that together, and we can back up the other person. That's what's incredible. It's because we need that. We need that reinforcement, and we weren't shooting video, and we weren't taking pictures, and I don't think anybody was even thinking about doing any of that. We were having too much fun yelling and screaming and laughing and enjoying the moment every single night. So come and hang out with us. And that is August 9th through the 12th up at ECETI, Soul Tech Gathering. And we've got the links to soultechgathering.com or over at jimmychurchradio.com. All right, tomorrow night is Fader Night. It's going to be open lines all night long. So much to talk about. John Rappaport's going to be here with his No More Fake Newsroom Live. And we're going to kick it off, me hanging out with all of you, open lines all night long for another amazing Fader Night here on Fade to Black. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camurian. And show is produced by Hill J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar, Webmaster Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt with 2 T's. Until tomorrow night, everybody be safe. Go back, Lee Tappy.